Hello, seniors! It's been a while, and I hope you are all in good health for today's another discussion. So let us go in the journey of learning on the field of Philippine politics and governance. Brace yourself and have a happy learning ahead. For today's topic, we are going to discuss about power, its nature, dimensions, types, and consequences. But before that, let us first look upon its content standard. Demonstrate an understanding of politics and political science, governance, political ideologies, power, states, nations, and globalization. For the performance standard, clearly identify a specific political phenomenon and how it can be studied. For the most essential learning competency, analyze the nature, dimensions, as well as types and consequences of power. So let us proceed with our discussion. What comes to your mind when you hear or see the word power? Power could be authority. Authority when you have lawful control over the affairs of a political unit. Power is also command. Command when you have the power to issue an order by right of authority. Control is also power. Control when you have the act or activity of looking after and making decisions about something. Power is also influence. Influence to act upon an individual's feelings so as to cause a response. Dominance is also power. Dominance in the fact or state of being above others in rank or importance. Power is also voice. Voice to be heard and listened by others. But what is power really? Power in its broadest sense is the ability to achieve a desired outcome and is sometimes seen as the power to do something. Power is usually thought of as a relationship, the ability to influence the behavior of others or having power over people, and the ability to punish or reward. Power in society spans a broad spectrum of meaning that includes force, authority, influence, and most of the time, coercion. Power is the probability that one actor within a social relationship will be in position to carry out his own will despite resistance. Power is the ability to influence flows of the available energy and resources towards certain goals as opposed to other goals. So let us tackle about the dimensions of power. According to Haywood in 2007, the following are the various ways how power is exercised by members of society. These are called dimensions or phases of power. It may include power as decision-making, power as agenda setting, and power as thought control. So let us take them one by one. Power as decision-making. This phase of power consists of conscious actions that in some way influence the content of decisions. The implication of this view of power is that the most powerful actors in society are those whose opinion are considered and upheld in the decision-making. The powerful are able to get what they want and make others behave the way they wanted them to. Power as agenda setting. The ability to prevent decisions being made. That is, in effect, non-decision making. This involves the ability to set or control the political agenda, thereby preventing issues or proposals from being aired in the first place. Power as thought control. The ability to influence another by shaping what he or she thinks, wants, or needs. This is power expressed as ideological indoctrination or psychological control. So let us talk also about the types of power. John French and Bertram Raven have identified 5 categories of sources of power. These are reward power, coercive power, legitimate power, referent power, and expert power. The first one is reward power. The target person complies in order to obtain rewards he or she believes are controlled by the agent. This depends upon person's ability and resources to reward others. Target of this power must value these rewards. As the name suggests, this type of power uses rewards, perks, new projects or training opportunities, better rules, and monetary benefits to influence others. However, an interesting aspect of this type of power is that it is not powerful enough in it itself, as decisions related to rewards do not rest solely with the person promising them. The second type of power is coercive power. The target person complies in order to avoid punishment he or she believes are controlled by the agent. This source of power depends on fear. People with coercive power have ability to inflict punishment or aversive sequences on other person or make threats about punishment. It has negative connotation and mostly commonly thought in terms of physical force. This kind of power involves the usage of threat to make people do what one desires. In the organizational setup, it translates into threatening someone with transfer, firing, and demotions. It basically forces people to submit to one's demand for the fear of losing something. Another type of power is legitimate power. The target person complies because he or she believes the agent has the right to make the request and the target person has the obligation to comply. This power source stems from internalized values of other persons giving legitimate right to agent to influence them. Others feel the obligation to accept this power. It is identical to authority and closely aligned with reward and coercive power. It does not depend on relationship with others, rather on position or role the person holds. This power emanates from an official position held by someone, be it in an organization, bureaucracy, or government. The duration of this power is short-lived, as a person can use it only till the time he/she holds the position, as well as the scope of the power is small as it is strictly defined by the position held. Expert power. The target person complies because he or she believes that the agent has special knowledge about the best way to do something. Based on extent others attribute knowledge and expertise to power seeker. Experts are perceived to have knowledge or understanding in certain well-defined areas. All sources depend on target's perception of agent to be credible, trustworthy, and relevant. This is a personal kind of power which owes its genesis to the skills and expertise possessed by an individual, which is of higher quality and not easily available. In such a situation, the person can exercise the power of knowledge to influence the people. The last type of power is referent power. The target person complies because he or she admires or identifies with the agent and wants to gain the agent's approval. This power comes from desire on part of other person to identify with agent wielding power. This is a power wielded by celebrities and film stars, as they have huge following amongst masses who like them, identify with them, and follow them. Consequences of power. The first consequence of power is compliance. When we talk about compliance, it means readiness or act of agreeing to do something. It is the state of being willing to do what other people want you to do for them. Compliance with the order may occur if it is perceived to be within the leader's scope of authority. The second consequence of power is commitment. Commitment is an even more desirable outcome because of the trust and emotional pledge that it causes. It is perceived as loyalty or a sense of dedication or devotion. It is adherence to something to which one is bound by a pledge or duty. And the last consequence of power is resistance. Resistance means to refuse or to oppose. The refusal to accept or comply with something, or the attempt to prevent something by action or argument. It is the most likely outcome when coercive power is used in a hostile or manipulative way. So when we talk about compliance, it results to the use of legitimate power as well as reward power. For commitment, individuals will use expert power as well as referent power. Lastly, for resistance, coercive power is usually used. Let us talk about the ways to expand power. The first one is to clearly define rules and responsibilities. Clearly defining rules and expectations can have a positive impact on the group, particularly as it relates to goals and objectives to be achieved. Everyone knows what to do. When you set clear rules and responsibilities, especially formal ones, everyone knows what's expected of them within the group. For number 2, provide opportunities for creative problem solving coupled with discretion to act. It increases the richness of ideas explored, which means that you can often find better solutions to problems that you face. The third way to expand power is to emphasize different ways of exercising influence. If you want to influence people, then you need to give people what they exactly want, because everyone likes what they want, not what you want. Forget about you. Think about them. When you think about other people and their needs, it will turn you into a great person in their eyes. For number 4, provide support to individuals so they become comfortable with developing their power. Members will feel empowered from the start of any work when you make the decision-making process collaborative. State a goal. Then ask questions to gain input on how to navigate the course to getting there. Be open to new ways of doing things, since that is how your team will grow. Don't discourage different opinions or ideas. Be blatant about your encouragement of thinking outside the box, so members embrace innovative problem solving and thus completion. Lastly, expand inducements for thinking and acting and not obeying. People will work harder in groups when they feel that they are contributing to the group and that their work is visible to and valued by the other group members. This is particularly likely in smaller groups. Adequate information sharing is more likely when the group has plenty of time to make its decision and is not rushed in doing so. The group leader is extremely important in fostering norms of open discussion. So let us also talk about the performance tasks that you need to do for this topic. The performance task is entitled Power and Me. So what you are going to do? Power based on its nature can be subdivided into four, namely power over, power with, power to, and power within. Using the diagram that I will show you, identify a person who has power over you and explain briefly how this person possesses power over you. You also identify a person whom you have power over and explain briefly how you possess power over that person. So here is the look of your output. So you are going to answer this on the paper that is provided by your teacher. Afterwards, you will submit your output to your teacher to be checked. So that ends our discussion, and I hope you have learned a lot about the topic power. I hope you enjoy and have a pleasant day.